All right. Audio sound. Need to check whether this is proper. Yeah, looks like it is. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today what we are going to do is work on the UI part of the transaction so that we are able to list the transactions that we have and also create a create form so that we can add transactions. So I'll wait for some time so that those who want to join can come in, and I'll just quickly set up things and then we can start. Okay, composer run is working. Hi Hemel, I hope I got your name correct. Hi, how are you doing? How was your week? And all right, so yes, um, I have a few notes today that I will work with. So I'll have a good amount of points that I need to cover, and I hope that I will be able to cover all of them today. I'll I'll time bound it to maybe an hour or so, so that it's not a very long video, and we are able to get everything done in that time frame. Okay, so yeah, it's about 2.5 minutes. So let's get started and start addressing the things that we are planning to do. So the first thing is let's look at our transaction controller. So we have store. We'll need to create an index and create. So let's go ahead and let me do that first. All right, so this is my index, and I'll have one more for create. Both of them should return a response, which is going to be of type inertia, not the SSR, but this one. Okay, and let me also do that same for the create. Now obviously they will complain because we are not returning anything, and we will handle that for sure. I'll come over here inside my resources, JavaScript, pages. Let's have transactions slash index.tsx, and one more, create.tsx. Okay. All right. What else? Right. So let's get the controller to return those in return inertia return, sorry, yeah, render, and we will have transactions.index, correct? Okay, and now this would stop complaining. Similarly, we will have create. Okay, now for the index, I will need to pass the transactions because that's what we are planning to render over there. So what we will do is we will query for the transaction. Query I will need to load the relations. So with an array of relations, which is I will pretty much get the account and the category. Then I will do order by descending, yes, created at, and oops, I'll need to paginate, so I'll do paginate 10 like so. Okay, so what will happen is, now let me just indent this properly. Okay, yeah, so what we will now do is pass, yes, we will pass the transactions to this. All right, so now that we have this, why don't we open up our web.php? Yes, we can take everything from here. I'll do a cut, paste it over here, and what just happened? Yeah, we will add the index and the create. All right, okay, so this is done, and I don't need this thing anymore, right? And because we have moved this inside the auth and verified middleware now, if you remember from my previous video, oh, by the way, I just realized I haven't given a brief, but yeah, let me do this and then I will quickly give a brief of what we have done so far, because that will help other users who are new to this video to understand what is happening. Okay, okay, so what we are doing here is creating an expense manager. It all started with me losing one of my code base, which I was using for more than 5 to 6 years. Okay, it was a filament based code base that I was using for managing or keeping a track of my transactions. So yeah, I decided to build one for me again. I was kind of being lazy, procrastinating about starting it, and I said, okay, why don't I go live with it and build it as YouTube live, so that I get to do two things. I'm able to work on that, and I'm also able to interact with you guys and create get some content up as well, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to share, and that is what we are going to do in this application. So yeah, we need to go to that page. So in the starter kit we have something called as app sidebar, and in that sidebar what I will do is where is the navigation? Yeah, in the navigation, oops, I will have title as transactions. Yes, we should get the route through the wayfinder because we have that ready. So I will do import from that is route, ROUTES @ sorry, yeah, it's /routes, right? And then it should be transactions, right? And in here I will get the index method from there. So href, there's some character, right? should be index dot URL, and this list, no, it should be something like, I think we have a credit card thing or money. Do we have anything like money? Money. Let's see. Oops, what is this? No, money is not declared, so maybe yeah, let's do credit card for now. It's too not very important, so we can think about that later. Is this the import? Yes, so we will just add it over here. Okay, and now what happened, this is I'll just keep my console open so that if there are any errors or stuff, we will be able to see that. Not found. Yeah, we will need to just refresh. I think the wayfinder routes will get created, and we have seeders in place, so yeah, we should be able to log in. I made some mistake. Password @123. Let's do a remember login, and we should be in. Dev to dev is asking, hi, are you using Inertia? Yes, I am using Inertia JS. This is the starter kit, Inertia plus React. I am yeah, so Inertia, React, TypeScript, Tailwind. Okay, right, so we have transactions. We are able to go to this page, but it won't load because we have nothing on these pages. Obviously we will have to do export default transaction index. Now yeah, based on the starter kit thing, what I have seen is we need to use the layout, so this, okay, and in that we will pass the head, autocomplete transactions. So this kind of takes care of the this title, okay, of that page. So I'll just hit refresh on that page, and we should, wow, it's pretty slow, but yes, it shows transactions. That's what I was trying to show you, that and using this we can get that thing in place. Now let's continue. If you want, you can also do, yes, breadcrumbs. Import the breadcrumbs from here, and this index comes from where? This is route transactions, okay, and you just pass this as a prop over here, and this will give you this nice little what do you call that, breadcrumb over here. Okay, perfect. Now what else? We need to get the list of transactions. Now if you already have this React DevTools what do you call that, extension, right, you should be able to see your components on a page, and you can do a lot of things. For example, navigate to that component which is being rendered on the page, and I can see that my transactions are available over here. Now because I'm working with TypeScript, it is important that I create some types, okay, and I will take help of cursor over here to do some how do you say, hold on, yeah, create some types for me. So in the page over here, right, there is a file index.d.ts. a lot of definitions are there, and what I'm planning to do is first create an interface for pagination. Okay, so the reason for doing this is, we will try to, or maybe paginate data. We will get the data of the pagination object from many places, right? So what I am planning to do is, this pagination data uses T, which means it can take any other entity inside it, and then it will create the paginated object for me. That type is going to be present, right? And that would allow me to work with the code in a much better way. So I have current page, which will be a number. Yes, first page URL will be string, from will be a number, last page will be a number. That's correct. And page URL, I've done this many times, so I kind of remember them. Don't get scared if you feel that how does he understand those. I am not memorizing them. Okay, links, if you see, yes, I think this is correct. I'll show you. The links is a special object that has this thing about active is false or not, or I mean active is false or true, which means the current page will be active. Page URL and these things are available. So for example, on first page it shows that this is the current page. Okay, and for the next page there is no URL because there is no next page. All right, so we have this, it's an array, so I did that. Next page URL can be a string or null, because not every time we will get a next page URL. Then path is there, per page, number, previous page, again will be a string or null, to, and total. Okay, now I can get rid of this. Yes, thank you. And we will create one more, which is for transaction. Export interface transaction. Yes, now for transactions, what do we need? Let's see. We have ID, which is number. User ID will be required. Yes, user ID will be number, account ID will be number, category ID will be number, amount, date, description. Now there are, let me see, there are 3 relations if I'm not wrong. This is transaction. So we have user, account, and category, and we will have user, category, yeah, and these I would say are going to be question marks, because not every time I will load these relations. Okay, and I hope this is correct format. I keep getting confused between PHP and the JavaScript ecosystem about their syntaxes. So yeah, I may make mistakes, and I will only realize once I get the errors. Yeah, interface, transactions, index props. Yes, correct. And I'm going to expect transactions, which is going to be a paginated data of type transaction. So let's, oops, not commented, but damn, import the types. Okay, yeah, import transaction as well. Let me see, is there any comment? No, there are none. So we can continue, and now I can say that I'm expecting, yes, I'm expecting transactions which is of type transactions index props. Okay, beautiful. So now on this page, let me refresh once. Yeah, these things are visible, and what that really means is now I can look at rendering the table. Okay, so the head is there. Now I will have a div. Let's give it some basic styling information. For example, it will be flex height full and flex 1 flex column, because I will have multiple things one below the other. Gap 4 for some what do you call spaces between each div. Rounded, this is I think I should kind of create those components, but I don't know. So here's one thing, guys. I would like to ask, is it okay if I do this live, or you guys are okay that I create the components and everything, and just the stitching part of things is done on live? Just let me know, because I feel that this creates a lot of it takes a lot of time, but yes, if you guys are feeling that this help, why not, then I'll do it live. Heading transactions. So this heading transactions is what comes over here, and it takes a description as well. This is something which I have seen on other pages. So yes, all my transactions. Okay, I'm talking directly to the user. So yeah, all my transactions. This is the title. Now we will have one more div, and in that div, flex full width, yeah, what happened? Right, in this I will have a button which is from the components that we have. The type will be, I think it is default type, so I don't need to worry about that. I will add a plus icon, yes, and I'll say add expense. Okay, now this button will be our way of going to the add expense page. Let me just do one thing. Justify end. It should come over here. Yeah, this is fine. And what else? Now let's start working on our table, because that's where our entire information will be visible. Okay, so again I will have a div over here which is of flex with full justify start gap 4. Okay, why is this behaving like this? Right, I have this div. Now in this I will have a 2-column layout, as in there won't be 2 columns, but what I'm trying to do is I'll show the table in just 2/3 of the screen, not the entire one. Okay, so there are a couple of ways to do it. One is you can use a grid and put a call span, and come to think of it, I think that's much better. Grid column 3. Okay, and in here I'll have div, 2 divs basically, and this one I'll do class name, what is that, call span 2. Okay, and I think this should be fine. Let me see what is the general width of this column. Yeah, so this is the 2/3 business. Now we have our column in place, and in here Wow, this is the second ambulance going from my near my house. Flex column and gap 4. In here I will start with the table. Oh, I think I haven't installed the thing, so shadcn, inside shadcn I'll go into components. There's something called as, there are two things. There is data table and there is just table, and I'm going to use this. Now where is table? Yeah, and for this we need to run this because it is not there by default. Okay, perfect. This is added. So now what I can do over here is go to my code editor, and I hope it has picked up the components. Yes, right. So this is done. Inside the table I have this. So if you see, right, a typical table has table caption, header, then the header row with the table heads, and then my table body. And this is what we are trying to achieve. So let's get started. All right. So table caption, I'll say a list of my transactions. This is done. Now I will do table header. Okay, now inside this we will have table row. Yeah, and the first table row will be ID, or you can do this, just a stylish way of showing the ID. Then date. Okay, description. Yes. Okay, then we will show the category first, then the account, then the amount. Okay, and the only thing that I will do is, if you see, there is a way to align the text to the right, and typically the numbers should be aligned right. Okay, it just makes the table look better. So that's done. Let's see what comes up as table. Wow, this is horrible. Why is it so compact? I think I made some mistake. Is it? Ah, wow, this is bizarre, because what I have done is all these are table rows, whereas it should have been a table row and then table head. Okay, let's correct that. Table head. Yeah, and I'll first import this, and then what I will do is select all the table row, make them table head. Okay, and yeah, this is what I wanted. That's an interesting mistake. Why is it not getting formatted? Let me see. Format on save. Format on save was not clicked, so it was creating a problem. Yeah, perfect. This helps so much. Okay, head is ready for our table. Now we will have table body. Let me do table body. This is correct. And then we have transactions data map, which is correct. Table row, we have this again, this is correct. Transaction ID in the first cell, yes, this is absolutely fine. Then we have date, description, category name, yes, this can be optional, and then account, and what is this? Yeah, amount. Perfect. So all table cells, let's see. Perfect. I can also do INR, okay, just to make it look a little too fixed thing. Okay, is it because I have defined it as a number? Let me see. This is part of node modules. Okay, so this is available. So yes, let's say it is only fixed to 2. No, I think there's an error. Let's see. To fixed is not a function. Okay, I don't mind. I'll just remove it because it is already type hinted in my backend properly. So yeah, doesn't make too much of a difference. This is absolutely fine. Now the one small thing which is kind of nagging me is this thing. So what I will do is take help from cursor a little bit and say I have a string like this, write a util function which will take such string and return it in a date format, like, and I will do 2025 slash no, I'll do month first, then date first, then month, and then the year. Okay, add this function to utils. I have a utils file, where we already get the cn function, so I'll just add it over there. Okay, this should help us with that formatting thing. Let's do a check what it has done. So it created a date object, yes. Then day is date.getDate to string, pad 0, yes, that will be required. So if you have 1 to 9, it will do 0 1 0 2 0 3, and then month again with the padding, get month plus 1 because month starts from 0 for some reason. Okay, and then the year, and then it is returning in this particular format. Perfect. So I understand this code, and as best practice you should only use the code or consume AI code which you understand. Okay, it's very important. Now this is the function that we got, and I will do date. Okay, this needs to be imported, and if everything is fine, it should render this properly. Awesome. This is nice. I think I will stop the file in a format on save because now my machine is getting very slow. Again, file format on save. I think the file watcher is on, and that is creating some weird problem. Okay, I still see the machine being very low in performance when I run OBS, but yeah, I'm planning to get a GPU. Maybe that will help sometime soon, but yeah, till that time I'll try to keep the processes as less as possible. Okay, we need to speed up. We are at 7:30. which means half an hour has already passed and we have just completed our listing and nothing else. So oops, yeah, this is there. So let's work on the pagination component later. Right now we have 7 transactions, we are showing that. Let's worry about the add form. Okay, so let's go over here. What I will do is no, not really like this, but I will copy this markup first and come over here. Okay, so we haven't done anything, so I can just blindly copy this, paste it over here, and say this is transaction create page. Yeah, transaction create props. That means this needs to change. Transaction create, transactions create. Okay, right. I haven't called it page, right? Let's see. This is transactions index page. I'll do page. Okay, this just helps you know, in, I'll show you when I go into those components, right? It shows that name as page and it just helps. That's the only reason I put a page, because my component name, file name will be index.tsx and I'm exporting this as a function, right? So yeah, something if you like as a consistency, you can do that. Otherwise you can skip that. Okay, add transactions, but I think before that, this is add transaction. Come on, create URL, create, I will get from here. Yes, so this is taken care of. Actually, come to think of it, it should be like this, right? And okay, we are still not going into that page, so maybe over here, constant, go to add, no, add, go to add transaction page. All right, so what do we have in here? Router visit, create URL, correct? That's what is going to happen. I need to import the router, which comes from Inertia.js React, and this create is going to be from transaction. Why is it not giving me the import? Yes, now it is. And what I will do is come over here and do on click. Come on, equals this. Okay, now if everything is correct, I should be able to click on add transaction and go to this page, and then we are getting errors, which is absolutely fine. We haven't done anything so far, so yeah, get rid of this. Now heading is at transactions. I don't need this button anymore, and in here this entire table goes away. Form will come. Oh, the M is missing. Okay, let's see if everything is working properly. Okay, so this is ready, and now what I will do is work on a form component. sorry guys. Yeah, I'll work on a form component so that the entire logic of I would say the entire form is basically an individual component. It just makes things easier because um, your main page should not have that form, and the even more important is if you have an independent component for form, you can use it anywhere. Like you can even load it up inside a modal pop-up or somewhere else, and it just makes sense, right? So yeah, we'll have to do that. But before we do that, if you understand, for the create, right, we will need the accounts and the categories, because let me see if I have the Postman open. No, I don't. Maybe I'll show you the store transaction request. You see, we need the account ID, category ID. And how do we get that? So my plan is to get it through a select list. So what I will do is accounts equals account. Come on. Okay, it's not ready to do that. And from the account, right, I will only get the ID and the name, nothing else. I don't need anything else. I'll just import account first. Category, I'll import. Now for account, where user ID is auth user ID. Okay, and categories we can load anything, so I don't mind that. The only thing is, because we are adding expense, so we will do where category has type, right? Let me see. Category model, it has type, and the type is of transaction type enum. So we will do type transaction type enum expense. Wow, this is just awesome. Yeah, and because we have the data, why don't we send it as props? Yes, accounts as accounts and categories as categories. So this is done, and in here now what will happen is I will get on my create page some data points, and they will be export interface account drop down. Okay, I'll keep them separate from the account actual entity, because this is where I am taking only the ID and the name. Okay, and I'll also have export interface category drop down, ID name, and I am not taking the type, right? Select is on ID and name. Yeah, perfect. Although they are okay, maybe for some time later. Oh, by the way, this should be on mute. I have realized that this can sometimes cause problem. So yeah, right. So we have these things in place. So what I will do over here is say that account drop down is an array, and categories is an array, which will now mean that I can bring this in. Okay, get rid of the AI assistant for now, and we will need to start creating the form. So for the form, the first thing that I will do is create that component. Okay, where is my JS folder? Inside that I will have forms. Wow, this is getting very slow. and then I'll have transaction add form .tsx. Okay, we'll do export default function transaction form. Now the form will get the interface. It will get the props. So yes, transaction drop down, I will import them from the create page. These two things are there, and then I'll have the props in here, which will mean I need to pass it from this page. So let's come up to this, say transaction or add form. Yes, pass the props please. Yes, thank you very much. I need to import this transaction add form. Yeah, so this is done. Why is it complaining, by the way? Because it is not returning anything. Yeah. So in the form, I'll add a card. I'll start with a card from components UI. Okay, and then we'll have card content. Come on. And then in here I will have my form, which is inertia react form. Okay, now it takes the method. What happened? Oh, I haven't imported it. No, I have. Method equals post, and action is, yeah, create. No, not create. It will be store, and I will import that from my thing, right? The routes that are created from Wayfinder, right? And okay, so the form needs something field set. Oh, yeah. So for the form, right, I am planning to use a new component which I saw called not input group, field. Right, this is how it where is the preview? This is how it looks. Is the correct one, field? Yes. Okay, and I found it very nice because it has this label hint thing, so we will use this. Okay, so field set, then a field legend, and then description, and we have a group. So why don't we start with that? Maybe I'll no, that becomes very difficult. Okay, field set. Oh yeah, my bad. We need to add this. Okay, we have to install that component from ShatCN. All right, things are ready. Updating files. The label already exists. Yes, please go ahead and do that. Yes, separator already exists. Go ahead and update that as well. And now what do we have? Rather, where were we? So we were trying to add the field set. Okay, now it shows me. So field set is there. Then we need a field legend. Okay, and in that add a new transaction. Then let's add field description. And yes, then after the descriptions and all, right, field set is ready, we will start with the field group. Field group is where we will add all the fields. So field group, it's ready. Inside that I'll have one component called field. Field, yes, this is very typical what ShadCN has mentioned. So we have field, label, input, and description. So field, as I said, field, label, and in that we need to do HTML4. This is going to be for account ID. And I'm thinking this is going to take a lot of time, and a good thing to do will be take help. So create this form, use ShadCN component. I have added some basic structure. I want to use field component of ShadCN. So populate all the fields required for transaction controller, store required by, okay, by this account ID and category ID are going to be select list. The values are passed as props. Use them. And write code for the form submit as well. So ideally this should do that entire form business. Let's hope now we get that done quickly. It just speeds up things, and I generally know what needs to be done. So yeah, a good time to get this done. And if I'm not wrong, right, it will read this existing structure. It will understand that I need it in this format. Yeah. By the way, what do you guys think about the best workflow in terms of using code editors or with AI? What is your workflow? Do you generate a lot of code or when you are using very selective ones? What is your workflow? I will be very curious to know how you are managing that. So yeah, comment below and let's discuss. Okay. I like the approach where I'm giving it small tasks. Like this particular one, I was not I didn't want to write the entire code, so I thought, why don't we just use AI to generate this code? And it has beautifully used the hook use form, which is available from Inertia. So data, set data, post, processing errors. Okay, these are my default values. It will also help me in my edit page, because I will be able to populate these. I have a handle submit, event prevent default. Yes, that will be required. Then store, it was already there, is it? Where is it taking the store from? Yeah, route transactions store. Okay, URL on success, it is doing a reset. That is also fine. On submit of this form, I am doing a handle submit, which is a function. Okay, good. Account section. So it created this select list. Okay. Select value is there. Select trigger is there. Select content. Okay. It comes with three things. Okay, fine. I understand. This means this thing is getting repeated, and ideally I will tell it to refactor it, create a component which is kind of taking these three things in one, and I'm just able to pass it the ID and name, and it is able to give me this. Maybe I'll get this placeholder as well. But yeah, that's for a later time. I have the amount field. It's of type number, step 01, minimum 0, value on change, set data. Yes, it also had a on change set data this, which is fine. Then validation errors are there, which basically means if I do add, yes, this is giving me the response, which is beautifully shown. Then I have my date, description, submit button is there. It added a processing, adding those things, which is nice. And so I'll accept whatever it has given me. And I just need to ensure in my store, yes. For now, I will return to index, but ideally we should redirect. Come on, redirect route this, and this is redirect of type. What's the redirect response like? Sorry, illuminate HTTP response. Yeah, that's what it should be. Okay, very well. I think that should be enough for us to test now our form. Let's try and do that. Is there an error? Let me first check that. No. Okay. So we are on this page. I click on add expense, account. Okay. Category transport, amount 500 for today 12th, fuel for my bike, something like that. Add transaction, and we have this ready. Okay, yeah, because this is being seeded, all the dates are same. I will not get this kind of a problem in real life, so I'm not adding one more order by. Okay, but if I would have done an order by date and then order by ID, then it should have solved the problem. But yes, and I don't want to add additional burden to the query. This is just fine. I know in real life we will not hit this kind of situations. But yeah, overall, with a mix of our own code and AI generated code, we have been able to cover a good amount of thing today. We have this listing page, and I'm also able to click on add expense, come over here. Come to think of it, I'll just come over here, and this is way too big for a big screen. So where is my layout thing? By default it will be 4. Okay, and maybe what I will do is, yeah, in a smaller screen maybe I'll do md grid call. No. Oops, this is 4. I'll do md call span 3, which means, yeah, so right now it will take 3 column size, okay, and on a larger screen it should ideally, no, it didn't happen. So on LG, let me see, this is 4, so by default 3, and in here it is 2, and if I make this as LG, what happens? Okay, and okay, by the way, my CSS skills are pretty limited, so I sometimes take a little more time. Yeah, so it comes to a 3 column layout somewhere from this. Yeah, that's just fine. I mean, at least on a smaller screen I'm giving them a little more real estate, and on bigger screens this is not going so wide. That's what I wanted, and that problem is being solved. So yeah, I'm happy with what I'm getting over here. Our form is ready. A lot of nuances from that UI, for example, the breadcrumb is working, everything is there. And yeah, I think I should call it a day today, and this is good progress. And yeah, let me see in the next video, maybe tomorrow or day after, we will move ahead a little more. We'll create the edit form and do more stuff to make it more complete. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This is what I am planning to cover in this video. Rather, I had planned to cover in this video, and I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. The code base is here, GitHub Amitav Roy /expense manager. You can go here, you can check the README, you can understand what all things are happening, and yeah, you should find the latest version always there. I'll keep committing the code. Hope you like this video, guys. Do share your feedback with me. Talk about some of the things you feel should be there in the application, some changes if you feel should be required, and other feedback that you have. I really encourage that. And yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you soon.